Let's begin the refining of the face with the eye. Before we do anything like cutting in the pupil and all that, we need to make sure that all this shape is correct. So I've been going around it and I've created the lower eyelid, or that part, with this number 10 gouge, so there's a flat side to it that we can move up against the eyelid. So I've been coming around here, so created this in this element, and I've come down so that this part is lower than the top part. Very important. I've also done a bit of work here on the eyebrows. I've picked a tool that will go in here, and then I can match it on the other side, and then another tool in the middle to finish off this center crease. And then I've cleaned up the nose, and I've come round here so that the eyebrow is actually coming down and underneath a little bit, so there's more shadow in here. At this point, I've been taking wood away from here, get a little hollow at the top of the nose. So this is the upper lid, this is the lower lid. It's more ball-like this way and dropping down that way. So once we've got that looking in the right position with all these creases coming up, all these folds coming up this way, we can actually put the eyelids in. And the best way to do this is sort of setting in by matching, where we pick a tool on this side that will match on the other side of the carving, so we can go across from one side to the other symmetrical. And what I would do is, this is quite a big tool because this is a big carving, but you want to find a tool that will work its way all the way around, even if it means adjusting this line to fit the tool. Then, when we're ready, we can set this in. And I'm not going parallel, like rather right angles this way, which there's a danger of undercutting. I'm coming out so that it's sloping a little way like this. So moving it around the cut. And I'm bringing this eyelid right around here. And right over here. And then at some point, this tool isn't going to fit that curve. You can see that's not going to work. So we need to swap to another tool, a flatter tool. I'll come down this bit. And now we can take wood away from here, below the eyelid. Very carefully not to damage the lid. So this part inside is also following the curvature of the eyeball itself. So we have to do it on this side as well. So if necessary, we can reset this in, making that a little bit deeper. I'm only doing one side at the moment because it will get in the way of the camera if I turn around, but you can see that I'm shaping this down like that. this bottom lid goes inside the upper lid here, and so there's a little bit of shadow, and again not undercut, nothing's undercut. It leaves a little plane here so we can see a bit of light reflected, but the eyeball must look right and inside the whole set of lids before we put the iris in, which we will do later. So once we've done this on one side, we'll copy the eye on the other, get it as even as we can, and then we can turn to the nose down here. I've kept the midline here, and I've kept the surface, this bit is flat from the original surface. So from the midline I'm able to caliper across and check that they're equal. And from the initial point I can check the depth. So as equal as possible, and running these lines of the leaves up here like this. With that we can turn and do a bit more on the nose. Starting by taking the nostril back a little bit more here, bring this leaf up and around like this. And if you remember, we had a particular gouge that we can put in there. So this leaf, the edge of this leaf and the top of the nostril make a sort of hollow end. From there we can turn to cleaning the tip of the nose here. So this is coming down and across like that. And then the underside of the nose wants to be rounded. Don't make that hard. And this part here we can hollow a little bit more in here. What this does is it lifts the lip out as much as anything. Of course we'll do this on both sides. And then once we've got this right, we can start coming round and hollowing into the nostril. Now you're going to need bent gouges to get in there, spoon bent gouges, and you do need to create a shadow, but it doesn't have to be too deep. So bring that in there like this. If necessary, turn the carving upside down to get at this. And then really cleaned up all this bit in here. So this sort of ridge goes up somewhere into the nose up here. So we've got a dead end to the bottom of the nostril here. That is further up nearer the eyes than this part of the nostril down here. So softly get that shape. And when you've got that, you can repeat that on the other side. I've cleaned off some of the paper as I've shaped the nose, but I've kept the centre line. And there's a sort of depression here on either side with this bony bit. And there's another depression either side of the nostril here. So you've got this diamond-shaped lump in the middle. The nostrils are well formed, and you come down underneath to here. So the nose is now pretty complete, and we can turn to the mouth below it. The mouth is quite well formed. What we've got to do is make it deeper, a bit more drama. I've kept the centre line, and I've made sure that the topper part of the lips are the same, and I'll also make sure that the bottom part will be the same, or close, you know, so that it's actually fairly symmetrical. So what I want to do is take a gouge and come round here and deepen in here. Creating a bigger shadow under here, so there's this sort of nice bow thing going on. So this upper lip, if you remember, is coming in squarish here, and then gradually opens up into the lip up there. Then the bottom, once this is deeper in there, and I will finish off with this gouge to get a nice sharp line in there. I need to get this bottom lip back a little bit because it's a little bit forward. So I'll pull that back around and over here. This will come back there. And then I'll clean that up, but I will reset this lip here, again keeping it as symmetrical as possible. So this is a softer edge, but distinct, and then as it comes round here and disappears in, it actually becomes quite a soft bit over here, so it sort of disappears inside. So keep this bit fairly sharp up to here, and then soften it a little bit over there, and then you can a bit more of this, pull that right down there, start pushing this into the leaves. So this is one of the places here and here where we've got deep shadows. Push that right back. This surface here isn't undercut, that's nice and square, straight down. Here's the mouth completed. You can see a little hollow under here that brings out the lower lip and forms these two pillars, one there and one there, below the lip. So now that's finished, we can now move on to the leaves and work from the face outwards.